Good evening, everyone. We're back to play some D&D. Last we'd left off, you had ventured across the Asmodeus line into the Bloodlands, following the... What the fuck is going on with the music? Did the music stop for you guys?
Again muted.
It's been stopped. So I can't repeat the bot. Anyways. Whatever. Ventured into the Bloodlands, following Soonlar on a mission to close a rift that was threatening to become a Nexus rift, a rift that is thus far the properties of it unknown to the Wardens. All they know is that it's something that they've not yet figured out how to close, how to combat, and every time one has opened, it's resulted in the Bloodlands expanding, the Wardens being pushed back further and further into Kian territory, closer to its major cities, consuming the towns, villages, and settlements that lie in between. However, you all were successful on your mission. You managed to get out as Soonlar stood his ground to take on a massive hulking fiend, a winged creature with eyes that glowed like burning embers, wielding a flaming sword and an electrified whip, something that he referred to as a Baylor. In a move of, let's say, calculated self-sacrifice, he buried himself as well as the other fiends in the area in a massive cataclysm caused by a erupting earthquake, only managing to walk out because of his wildfire spirit that takes the form of a flaming butterfly. He joined the rest of you not long after, and you had made your way back through the excavated underground tunnel, crawling hand over hand until you made it back behind the Asmodeus line, back behind the wall of wardens and siege engines that continued to lob boulders and stave back the smaller fodder demons that threatened to spill over the edge of the line. All of this within less than half a mile of the Asmodeus line, the Bloodlands themselves extending further than your vision, so you can only imagine how or what it must be like deeper into the Bloodlands. But that is not something that you have to worry about right now, as all of you, still carrying the aches, wounds, and adrenaline of the battle you had just fought, stand amidst the red mist that permeates this area, having grown accustomed to the scent and taste of blood and iron in the air. Ezekiel, at least you've discovered that the corrupting effects of this land turns water, its flavor, into that of bile. And you can only imagine what other effects it has. You've already seen in other individuals as well as some of your own, the effects that this place has on your psyches, your mind, your bodies. Soonlar had left to go and consult with the other wardens in the tent that had described to him the situation, leaving the seven of you with an opportunity to perhaps rest. You are standing behind the line right now. The sound of the large siege weapons constantly firing their projectiles off into the Bloodlands. The sound of squelching blood and weapons swinging through the air as those on the front lines stab out with long spears and pikes towards any demon that threatened to climb out of the large trench that divides the fiends from the rest of you. You're all covered in gore, blood, muck, mud, sweat. And that's where we'll pick up. At the moment, you have time to rest, maybe? You're not sure what exactly is expected of you now, if anything. Where to go from here, it's not been discussed with you. So, with time to at least catch your breath, what are you guys doing?
So, before another moment passes, there's something I feel really needs to be addressed. This was like terrifying and amazing and incredible, and we did it. You were amazing, Francesca, and you, Fred, you were awesome, and Suggestion, you were great, and Ezekiel, that was so clutch, that was amazing. It's so great, and I need to see a man about trebuchet. And Persephone kind of walks off.
With I guess a pep in her step, Persephone walks off towards the nearest trebuchet.
Francesca will
Really?
kind of like raise her hand to like almost stop her and say something in response before she just lowers it and kind of shrugs and goes off for somewhere to sit and rest.
But
Truly a woman ready for the Bloodlands, I see.
yeah, I feel like she's gone now, I guess.
Yeah.
I hope we're not going anywhere too soon.
Yeah,
hard to find
we should
people out
definitely
here.
take some rest.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
exhausted.
I don't think it's much to celebrate that we were stuck on fodder duty and we had our hands full. We still got a long way to go.
Most certainly. But
Consider
anything specific you
what
want?
they are doing father duty, Bishop, but okay.
you know, we did close that rift. We had at least held off things for Sunar, but still we did our part.
So
Yeah,
Persephone,
sure.
you walk towards the through the front lines towards the trebuchet operators, I suppose. You can see some of them are using manual labor. You can see many of these humanoid figures with their faces completely wrapped in bandage, loading the slings of the trebuchets working together to load them with the heavy projectiles, while others man operations and adjust the aiming of the weapons, and some take out what you recognize as magical wands that look quite valuable, quite rare, and use them to magically levitate the counterweights that are then used to launch the stones and boulders into the Bloodlands.
I just want to say, I don't know who's in charge here, raising my voice a bit, but whatever boulders you choose, they're amazing. You got a second use out of it. I mean, it wasn't enjoyable, obviously, but, it's just amazing, and your aim was great and fantastic, and, I mean, you guys are doing awesome, and could I pull a lever, please?
What looks back at you? Hey, your face still covered in muck and blood. Suppose it couldn't hurt? You see, looks to a man that's covered in dark shrouding robes. Most of his features are obscured. He also shrugs, and as he does, the ones with their faces wrapped kind of step back and just stand eerily still, idly.
This is amazing.
You go over to the lever as it's loaded up, and all right, fire!
Yes, and I pull the lever.
You pull the lever, and you can feel and hear like the mechanisms moving, just the release mechanism of the trebuchet. You can feel the strain on the sturdy wood that constructs this siege weapon as the counterweight falls, slinging the massive boulder hundreds of feet into the Bloodlands. And a few seconds later, you hear and see the impact, the crater that it causes, the amount of debris, dirt, muck that it shoots into the air as it crashes down on a number of demons.
I'm going to like jump into the air and be like, yes!
See that around you. There's different reactions to your excitement. Some seem confused. Some seem concerned, like, is she gone mad? Others can give a little chuckle, laugh, and even seem a little bit like raises their morale a bit
Really?
in this gloomy, depressing setting.
She wipes her face off a bit, with her sleeve, and she's just like, what you guys are doing here, it's incredible. And these machines, they're great. This was brilliant. I don't know who came up with this, but it was brilliant, really. And good job on, you don't need me telling, I appreciate it.
Alright, thank you. It's good to be appreciated. We all do what we can, right?
Right. I was over there. It was crazy. But so I just really appreciate everything that everybody's doing. We were able to not have to move the line. The Nexus portal didn't open, so I was a little, maybe, curious about it, but very glad that it, actually didn't open.
Absolutely.
Sonar's incredible, too. You all are,
Truly,
really.
he is, yes. There's definitely recognition of the name, like you're invoking the name of some folk legend or hero.
It's just, I can't say enough about... you guys are amazing, really, all of you. And it's like, you guys are just so... I'm sorry, I'm a little pumped. I'm so glad that we were able to stop the Nexus from forming.
That's good, but maybe you should save that energy just in case we need it. You can never tell. You never know when it might come in handy.
Right. I'll go find, something. Yeah, I'll go settle down, I suppose.
So, you guys have time to short rest? Roll some hit dice, recover some hit points. While you're doing that, you can obviously talk, eat, drink, walk around, find somebody, or just, if not, let me know. While you guys are short resting, does anyone want to do anything? Yep.
Yeah. Fred would go seek out, I guess after a bit of resting, she would look for a bishop. Might I have a moment of your time?
Yeah, of
Not that
course.
there's a lot to spare.
I definitely got time to spare for you. What's up? Wait.
Well, between the two of us, I've been thinking a bit. Sunlar said something about needing to be mad to be in the Bloodlands, and every moment that I spent here, I feel like I am going mad. I wonder if I should be a bit more vigilant of Persephone. I suppose I'm a bit worried. Well, of course, not just for her, for all of us, but she seems... I don't know if this areas influencing her or if that's just how she is. While we did do well, I feel that there are things that we need to address as a team and check in on each other. I can. Well, the reason I decided to talk to you is you seem to have your head on your shoulders for the most part. And I'm a bit worried about myself. I mean, I feel okay. I am okay. Not to scare you, but I feel like even with all this meditation and training that I started doing, and I know it sounds a little weird, but I don't feel as confident. In my abilities, yes, but under the influence, I'm not sure.
I see. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not time to get comfortable. I know we did something great, but I'm sorry to think that that's just the bare minimum here. Nothing to truly be celebrated. Now, it's an achievement for us, sure, but yeah, we gotta keep our heads on straight, and what Soonlar said is concerning. You have to be a little mad to be here, right? And I'm sure we've all felt it. Maybe some of us has been able to push it away to the back of our minds, but sooner or later, we're all gonna start feeling it more than others. I'm not sure if Persephone is feeling the effects, or maybe she's just excited with all. It's kind of in her personality to be excited about these things. At least from what I've seen. I mean, she's your sister, though, so I mean, I have to trust your judgment on that if you're worried.
I suppose it's not her I'm really worried about. Maybe. Well, it should be. It has to be.
Well, who are you worried about then? Yourself? Or
she kind of hesitates. Kind of in a soothing motion, she like rubs her arm. Maybe for a moment, but we should check in on each other. That's all.
yeah, that's a good idea. That's what we're here
More
for,
time
right?
we're here. Right, but I don't know.
Hey, I mean, if you're volunteering, we could both go and check in on everybody. I mean, do a wellness check.
I'm sure. Yeah, maybe, but you know what's weird? I've been thinking maybe we should ask Melody. As odd as it seems, to play a tune. It might help everyone feel a little better. He does have a way with music and influence in some sort of way.
Yeah, I mean that might be a good idea, and it's been a while since she's done something like that, and maybe it'll help her get in our good graces. Cause I mean, I was worried about her, but I'm still not happy about how she performed out there. It's I know we've gotten away with a lot in the past, but this was different, and things could have gone south fast. I mean, they did go south fast. I mean, Soonlar somehow made it work, but if it was anybody else up there, I can't say we would have had the same outcome. But yeah, let's go see Melody.
I wasn't even sure if he survived. As bad as it sounds, I had my doubts. I was worried we'd get stuck here, I guess. That's so wrong to say. And
Not at all.
And in terms of Melody, she has made questionable choices. I can't say I'm not worried about her, but who's to say how much of that is the influence of the Bloodlands or just her? I know she can be a bit reckless, but she's still here. And she has done quite a lot to keep us alive. Not just that, she's always provided some form of morale support, one would say. Or at least to me.
Yeah, same to me, but
But she can get us killed. I'm not. And herself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. And we could probably talk to her about it later. But for now, I think. Well, she was trembling. You saw. I don't
Yeah,
think right now is the time to scold her, is all.
It's. I wasn't planning on doing it now. She was definitely shaken up. Maybe this was the wake-up call that she needed. I know I got mine when I saw what was left of Team Scorpion. Seeing as that they were practically our equal, and well, I mean, I can't say that for sure, but they were regarded as our equals, and seeing how they turned out, it's really telling that things could go really bad really fast here. But yeah, we could definitely go check on her. And maybe she'll be able to play those tunes you said.
The two of you find Melody not too far away from where you had seen her last. She's calmed down a bit, though still visibly shaken. Though the disease that had taken her has stopped progressing, the scars that it left are still visible about her face, and any skin that you see exposed, it's receding, fading, but you can still tell that it was there.
Hey Melody, how are you holding up?
And she's kind of like in a sulking position, like just, just on the floor, her arms to her knees, looking down, not even looking at Bishop. Hey,
Hey, me and Fred came to check in on you. She was a real lifesaver a little earlier. Looks like she cured you.
Let me take a closer look. And she's gonna kneel and kind of examine, I guess, her skin.
Okay. You want to make a medicine check?
Oh, sure, cool.
ooh.
I'm actually proficient in it. No, I'm not, by the way.
Yeah, it was like, how?
Meanwhile, while Frederica is doing her medicine check, Melody still doesn't look at any of them in the eye, and
Ooh.
she's just nodding as she works her magic.
So, from what you can see, kind of cleaning off her face a bit, wiping off some of the grime, blood. You can see the scars of the boils that had suddenly grown on her skin, but they're not as they're not festering like they were before. They've receded. You can still see the kind of scarred, like sort of slightly like loose skin on the face where they once were, but looking at it, the fact that it's a lot better than it was, it's not progressing, and with time it'll probably all just fade away. She also hasn't coughed up any flies recently, at least not during your conversation.
Well, you want the good news or the bad news?
Melody is still just looking straight down. She just says, "Sure."
One second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Hello, Melody. Hello, Melody. Can you hear me? Hello?
Sure. Good news. Yeah. Well, we all could use some good news. Sure. She's saying this as she's not even looking straight at Fred or Bishop still.
Fred for a moment glances and looks towards Bishop, a bit more concerned than she initially thought.
Yeah, and Bishop stares at her and he shows his concern too, and kind of like very slightly like shrugs, like he doesn't know what to do. He was like,
Well, the good news is that it'll go away. And the even better news is that you are going to perform for us eventually. And the bad news is I don't have a tissue to wipe that gunk off your face. But that's okay. Melody, hello, Melody.
Melody just sighs and she says, well, the first thing you said sounded pretty like bad news because I'm not in such a mood to perform right now.
Well, that's why I said eventually. But, all right, well, first of all, can you look me in the eyes?
Melody's just kind of gonna struggle, like you could tell that she wants to look at her eyes, but she's more ashamed to than she wants to.
She seems pretty out of it, much like the leader of Scorpion was when you first entered here. Sort of shell-shocked.
Hey Melody, we're okay. I mean, I know things didn't work out like how you thought, but you're okay. We're all right. All of us made it back in one piece.
She nods and still doesn't look up to Bishop, and she sighs afterwards. Yeah.
Is it are you afraid? What is it? Are you scared? Are you tired? All the above? Like, we're all fine. So, what is it, Melody?
That's I don't know anymore, Fred. I just what are we doing? What am I doing? I was just home a few months ago and I almost lost everything what am I doing? She stops talking and she just like continues to stare off into the distance.
You're protecting it. Well, I don't quite remember why you decided to join the Wardens, aside from your family thing, but you're still protecting your family by being here. And it is your choice if you decide not to do it anymore. But you are still more capable than many to be here. And I know it's hard. I'm struggling with it too, but the only thing I can tell you to do is put one foot in front of the other, and you have to do more than that right now. We're still counting on you. And you should be confident to know that in these moments, we're going to be there for you too. And if you think for even one moment that anything that touches any of you is going to stay alive, that can't be. That can happen. I can't let that happen. Do you think I'm going to fucking give up and let these motherfucker things try to ruin me, my life, my home, everything that I've built for my freedom? You're going to let that thing take control of you, your mind? Let it rearrange your face? No, you're not. You're not gonna let that shit happen. Are you gonna let that shit slide? You're better than that, Melody. And you can't give in to these fucking fiends.
She kind of like does a small curl in her lip, like as in trying to smile at Frederica's inspiring words. And at that moment, she finally looks up to Frederica in the eyes and just nods, as if she understood what Frederica meant and she's serious about all the shit she just said right now. she's feeling pretty inspired, but she still just smiles softly and just nods to Fred without saying a word.
I know it's difficult, truly. And again, I need to rely on you guys too to make sure that I'm okay here. But
Yeah.
alright, go on, Bishop. I think I've talked enough.
I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. I'm just, we're all here for each other, and this ain't the first time we've gotten our asses kicked, but we always get back up, and we always get stronger. We do better. This is just one of those moments. It's gonna be better. We'll do better, right?
Yeah. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you guys looking out for each other, and yeah, this really did it. I'm just gonna kind of like just kick back for a little bit and just rest, but you guys go on ahead. I'll be fine.
No, you're not off the hook that easy. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to whip it right around. And I'm going to help you not think so much. Focus really more on the body. We're going to do a couple of sets until it's time to do something else. You better start stretching when I come back. That's all.
Melody's smile quickly turns into a frown. But she doesn't say anything back against those
Suddenly,
words.
the exhaustion of your mind and body really hits you at the threat of a Frederica workout session. One, after everything that you all have been through, and two, because when you got here, it was, the start of the evening, basically. So this is basically during y'all's sleep time. As this conversation between the three of you is going on, and as Persephone is out there launching boulders with trebuchets and giving high fives to everybody on the front line, Shkestian, you are called to by, as you see, Sunlar. And as he's returning, you notice that his clothing, his face, his hair, everything is clean, spotless, as if he hadn't been through what you guys just went through. Suggestion, a word.
A moment. How?
How
do you look like that?
I washed up. It's been some
Where?
time, maybe. Follow me.
Oh, thank the gods.
That's not something I'd expect to hear from you.
They have to be worth something.
So you follow him to a wash basin that's set up nowhere like super private or exclusive, out of the way, just enough to have a conversation as you begin to wash yourself from this wooden basin full of this, well, not really, it's water. You definitely notice the stench of it, as notice the effect the Bloodlands has on it, but it gets you cleaner than you are. And, all of the stuff that you have on you anyway is permeating your senses anyway, so it's as clean as you're gonna get. So I just figured I'd call you each over, maybe one by one, and have a little chat. Decided on you first.
Oh,
Because you
well.
are an interesting one to me. I'm still not sure if I trust you, but after, you followed and all of that and what you've done, I can at least think that you're not here to hinder us. Gives you a smile and kind of is leaning against a hitching post currently not in use as he's talking to you, washing you, clean all the grime off of you.
Well, hope to not be a hindrance. I tried to help as I could.
Yes, I saw. So, just a couple quick questions. It seems like you could use a bit of a rest, so I won't take up too much of your time before I'm ready to usher you all back to where we came. After all of that, how do you feel like you did?
Well, in all fairness, don't have a scratch. I'm feeling pretty confident.
It's good. I can see that. Other than all the gunk, I guess none of the blood was your own, huh?
Not one bit.
Well, then I guess that leads to my second question. How do you feel about staying in the Bloodlands?
Well, if you would ask me personally, I wouldn't mind. Of course. It's not entirely up to me. I'm not here alone.
Sure.
I'm with companions, so it's ultimately their call.
Is it now? See, because I feel like that's an interesting statement coming from you. I mean, you say here that it's up to your companions that you're part of a group, yet when I asked how you did, you focused solely on yourself. Do you find that curious?
One must be, at the very least, a little bit self-serving.
Truly. You never know when you'll find yourself alone, especially out here.
All the more
But it's
reason
always
to
good to
be
have.
head on your own, to a certain extent.
Is that something you feel like you need to be?
Prepared for anything?
Well, prepared to be on your own.
I suppose so. You'll know when you might end up like that gentleman earlier.
Very
Much
true.
earlier, the one that was it Scorpion Group?
Yes. This is... well... someone... a group that they thought was ready for the Bloodlands based on a performance outside of it, which I do not feel is an accurate factor, which is why I brought you all here tonight. Not only just to throw you into the fire, as it were, but to be there in case it got too hot. You've been with this group for a little while. Not long, as I understand it. Are
Yeah.
you prepared? Are you preparing to be alone for... out of necessity, or because you lack faith in their abilities?
Perhaps in the start it was a little bit shaky. As I've been traveling with them, I've come to learn they've gotten a little bit of a reputation. So it's probably not too surprising that they're not as efficient as they can be, but they are impressive.
Certainly. I've heard same words. I was actually there in the aftermath of Silver Lake. The fact that they were able to conquer that near single-handedly certainly caught the eye of many. And they did that as a group, which is commendable. And their group is certainly strong, but Scorpion group was strong too.
I like
You never know
your
when
methods.
you never know when you're going to get split up. And in the Bloodlands, yeah, it's easy enough to get split up. It's 20 feet, could very well be 20 miles.
I'll have to take your word on that.
I mean, you didn't see it for yourself. Well,
Ah.
don't want to take up too much of your time. I think I've gotten everything that I was asking for. You rest up. I'll find you in a bit. I'm going to find another. Just want to make sure y'all are alright, of course.
Right. I appreciate you choosing me first. I'm honored.
Walks past. He gives you a little smile. The eyes don't quite reflect it. The eyes are more inquisitive than gracious. And he walks back to where he had first called you from as you finished washing up and pulls Francesca aside, if you would allow.
Sure. I'll follow him along.
Takes you a little bit away and still not entirely sure who or what you are. Well, what is probably not the right question. More how you are.
You and I both, sir. As I put my hands behind my back in like a more formal soldier positioning.
You can see him kind of like raise a hand like to dismiss that, but seems like you're comfortable with it, so he just kind of continues. So I'm going to be ushering you and the rest of Kieran group back shortly here, but I figured before I do that, I'd just have a little chat with each of you. A lot of this was not only for me to see whether or not or how the Bloodlands affected each of you, but for you all to see it for yourself. So,
Well, though I may not remember it, I assume I have seen it before. It feels oddly familiar, those lands. Could even be where I died, who knows?
that is interesting. Squints his eyes a bit as if trying to peer through the purple glow that permeates out from your visor. Not many things come out of the Bloodlands except fiends. I mean, you're clearly not one, but I mean, to be fair, you're not exactly something that a lay person would distinguish from a fiend without better knowledge.
Perhaps it is my hatred of fiends that have brought me back. I still have business to attend to.
I can certainly sense that. So with that being said, does that mean that you would stay if given the choice?
That would depend on what my duties would be here, sir. I do not wish to be viewed as father, and I look out towards like the undead soldiers that they have with unease.
Well, soldiers are soldiers. Tools are tools. You've certainly shown yourself a soldier.
Hopefully,
Right.
not one you blindly throw into danger. As
course
bravely
not.
as I
That's
would
exactly-
fade it, I view myself as a bit of an asset amongst my group. I say a bit warily because I don't know whether we're all friends or not.
No, absolutely not. Don't let it be mistaken. We are acutely aware of our situation in this war, The numbers, they are not on our side, and we do not have the room or desire to exacerbate that disadvantage. The only way we win is by outsmarting them. We
Then
don't
I
have
am.
the force of numbers, we don't have the strength.
Then I am yours to use as you see fit. It seems you have some grand strategy going on here, after all.
That is certainly what people must believe. And he gives you a little nod and walks not far away. He only pulled you away like maybe 15 feet. And Ezekiel,
Yes. Yeah.
how you holding up?
He does like a little spin around. I think fine enough.
I do
In
know a
all
little
fair-
bit about you,
Here.
not quite you personally, but I know a bit about your village, your family from Valen.
Yeah.
What little talks that we've had. Yes, absolutely. So I assume that you're on. I don't remember the name of it. Your journey.
Yes.
Same as
I
Valen.
am on my journey.
Hmm.
Um.
And how do you feel that's going for you?
Well, it's taken me certainly to a place that I never even imagined. It's this place.
Well, this place is
This
certainly
place
hard
is
to
quite
imagine if
hard.
you've not been there. I mean,
Yes. Um. Though I not only for my faith, not only for my journey. Um. For me, I feel confident in a way, not overly so, of course. I find myself more anxious of the group um, as a member, but I have faith in my people. I have faith in myself now, which is a bit of a betterment. But I believe that
granted you this confidence.
well, everything along the way and now the fight we just went into, not that I don't know what scale that would be placed on, but um, I feel as though as long as my group is together, and even if not, I think we've all come into our own in a sort of way that I think is beyond valuable. I and as for myself, um, a lot weirdly, and not a lot at the same time.
And against the background noise of wailing, crying fiends, their teeth gnashing, the low hum and thrum and wailing of the sound of rifts emitting their abyssal and infernal energies, the sound of the siege weapons constantly firing down the line. And do you believe, then, that this is where you belong?
I believe that not only is this the place that I should be, but I think it's the place where I can help the most. I think I, though I don't know what this is gonna bring, I feel that I fit. in a weird sort of way. If I can help people here, if I can stop it from reaching those who can't help themselves, then so be it. And with all of my being, I hope that I'm able to protect those around me and those at home. Some granted.
He places a hand on your shoulder for a moment as he walks by you and carries on, walking away down the line until Frederica walked away. Are Bishop and Melody still together?
Melody has not moved from where she
Yes.
was.
Were we? Wait. Oh, what? Can you repeat that last part?
Has Bishop left Melody alone? Like, Fred walked away for a bit to...
Oh, okay, okay. I depending on how much time has passed, I might have still been, keeping her company there. Yeah.
Okay. Bishop, if you don't mind, I'd like a word with Melody. You hear Sunla's voice approaching.
Yeah, of course. I mean, whatever you say, boss.
And as that's happening, Melody quickly shuffles to her feet and to stand up.
Sort of similar to how the sort of dismissive, no need hand gesture that he did with Francesca. Does it with you as Bishop? You give them some space. So I don't want to bother you too much. You all need your rest, especially after what that happened. But I just wanted to touch base, as it were, with all of you. So I won't take up much of your time. Are you scared?
Thanks for checking up on me, Sonar. Well, as far as your question, I truly was scared. Just a few minutes ago, more scared, even so, right before Frederica came, actually. And, she helped me a lot, you know? It's not a big difference since, everything that's been going on with us, but it did help. It did make me not want to walk away from all of this just yet, but I won't lie, I am scared. I am scared. And she looks down.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't respond to that, instead goes right into his next question. And with all that, is that fear enough to make you want to leave this place? Perhaps never come back?
Melody balls her hand into a fist, and as she's shaking, like I said, just a few moments before Frederica came, I was ready to just walk away from all of this. I didn't think I had it in me anymore to keep on the fight, but she's right. We do need each other, and I know she's not gonna let us die, you know? Not anyone. So I'm here to stay, Sonar.
He nods. And then turns and catches up with Bishop. You seem to be holding yourself together quite well, though I sense that you're frustrated. Is that accurate, or have I misread you?
I wouldn't say it's exactly a misread. I mean, a lot of things going through my head.
What's
Yeah, I'm
got you
keeping it
upset?
together. Well, the truth is, I think we did okay, but I think we haven't even scratched the surface, and even though some of us may think it's a victory, I'm not sure if it's that just yet. And I'm almost certain if you weren't there, things would have gone south way faster, and even you, I could have sworn you were gone. But
It's
you,
never easy, never predictable. But at the same time, I don't think that you would find yourself in that situation without me there. I am, after all, the one that brought you here.
yeah, no, I get it. And even though I think we, as a group, have the potential to do more, it's not lost on me that Scorpion is a reflection of what we could have been, or what we could be if we get too comfortable and if we don't keep improving at a rapid pace. So I guess I am frustrated that I'm not sure if we're even ready for this, but now that we're here, I don't think we can back down. I'm too stubborn to back down.
So you aren't sure if you're ready, but you would stay regardless, is what you're saying.
Well, much like your methods, seems like every time we've grown, it's always been like a trial by fire, you know? It's never been a slow grind, or we've always had to, our backs have always been against the wall, and it seems to be the reason why we're improving the way we are. So even though times are uncertain, I think that if we get complacent and think that we're gonna go back south and train up and come back here and be ready, I don't think you could ever be ready for this place. You just have to adapt. I mean, am I wrong in thinking that?
Confidence and courage are funny things. Certainly good and necessary to some extent, but they can also be a detriment. Nobody comes here with intent to die. Not a single person, at least not to my knowledge. Scorpion thought they were ready, as have many, many others. You only need look around. Count the number of faces masked by bandages. Each of them thought they were ready. None of them intended to die.
I wouldn't think so. That's why that's why I feel the way I feel, right? Not sure we're ready, but I think we're ready to try.
Seems a very all or nothing approach. Sometimes might be better to hold your chips a bit close. Not every hand needs to be played. Not sure if you're a gambling man or not. You struck me as a soldier, so I assumed.
Yeah, I was a soldier, but I'm not sure I'm much of a gambling man.
Well, then I guess my analogy has fallen on deaf ears. There's still much that can be done outside of the Bloodlands here. There's still more important things, even. those here holding the line certainly have an important job, but it's at least of the mind of some of you that it's not really the work that you wish to be doing. And I feel that's fair. I think that there's more nuanced work that you and the rest of Kieran could tackle, either here or elsewhere.
Well, then all I can say is, I'm gonna have to trust your judgment. So whatever you think is best is what we'll do, right? You're the veteran. You're the legend around here, and
I'm just the guy that's been here a bit longer.
well, I'm hoping you're here long enough to just get to your level, if if we could be so lucky.
Nods and follows the sound of excitement to Persephone. Persephone, I hope I'm not interrupting your fun, but could I speak with you a moment?
Oh, sooner, of course. And I'll go to it soon.
So, are you enjoying your time here?
Well, I mean, it was terrifying and exhilarating, and what you guys are doing here is simply, it's incredible. I mean, like, I don't even know how you choose the rocks you held, but, it was good for 2 uses. I mean, it wasn't pleasant, like I told the, man of the, who's, I didn't ask names, I probably should have, I'm sorry, that was rude of me, but I was just so excited, they even let me pull the lever. And you were incredible. I don't have any idea what sort of magic you used, but that earthquake, whatever it was, the earth moving the way it did, I couldn't see all of it, from the other side, but it was amazing, really.
I appreciate it. So you are where you feel you want to be then?
I mean, we did something. We helped protect the Asmodeus line. I mean, what more could I want to do? I mean, I don't know. There's so many questions and so many things I want to learn about and see, and just it's incredible here. What you all are doing is incredible, honestly.
It's all we can do. We are certainly fighting, but we are far from turning the tide. We are on a ship with buckets bailing out water, each bucket full being flooded faster than we can bail it over. I'm not sure. A landlocked country like here, I'm not sure if a sailing reference is quite
I
appropriate.
actually read a manual on watercraft. I do understand what you're talking about. I mean...
Ah. Well, good. At least one of my analogies seems to stick today. So... You would want to stay here?
I mean...
You already said that, but, let me tell you something. And he turns you round to gaze out over the Bloodlands, and even after everything, it's still like your vision swims a little bit. It's not easy to focus on. What we did out there? Well, I appreciate that it was as exciting to you as it seems to be. While certainly important, I don't want to take away from your sense of accomplishment. That's something that we need to do here nearly daily.
I think
The
it
rate at
just...
which this is getting worse is getting faster. And there's only so many people capable of holding back that tide. And we're not getting them faster than we're losing them, unfortunately. And you would know.
Yes, it is not lost on me that this is, well, honestly, it's a bit hopeless at the moment. Haven't come up with a good enough plan myself. Not that I expect to be able to solve this on my own, but, I have been calculating things and trying to, figure out a way to maybe give us a little bit of an advantage.
Any advantage is certainly welcome. Now, I'm trying to figure out whether this is the right place for Kirin Group. Or even part of Kirin Group.
My mother was very difficult, but she educated me well, and she had some very good advice for me that if I have nothing nice to say about something, I should really not say anything.
I guess we'll leave it at that then. It was good talking to you. I hope I didn't put a damper on your mood.
Oh no, you're right. It is, I shouldn't. It isn't that I feel like we won or anything ridiculous. It was just, after so many escorts and just wandering around doing aimless things for so long, it just felt good to feel like we did something that mattered a bit. I know it's not the wall, but it's, and it was
I hope
largely
you're able to
because-
keep that excitement. I hope that things like what you did today don't end up feeling like those mundane tasks you were assigned, because as I said, it is not a unique situation to deal with, that which we did today.
Yeah, and not to, I do understand that it's important that goods get where they need to go, and things like that. Like, I do really genuinely understand that logistics really matter, and sometimes the difference between winning and losing a battle. But, this just felt a little more tangible.
Yes, I understand that. And you see, kind of like, almost seemed like you got a little bit bored when the talk of like logistics and like that side of the wardens got brought up. You can tell he's not quite interested in that much. But, well, I'll let you get back to, I suppose, your victory lap. I'll call you over soon. I just need to find your sister. And he turns and starts to walk away.
Right, see you later.
Fred, is it fair to assume that you found somewhere to wash up a bit before your exercise session with Melody?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Frederica! You turn to see Sunlar as you are splashing water on your face.
Oh, you seem to be doing better?
Don't know what you mean. You seem...
You need something.
I just wanted to have a little chat, ask you a question or two, if that's all right.
Oh, of course, yeah. Of course, I mean, I have nothing but time, so. Well, for now.
So, I don't know much about you and the rest of Kirin, much more than what I've read and heard and what the Legatus has conveyed to me. Even tonight, as we went out there, most of your performance, well, I was looking the other way. But you were out there with me, actually, so I did get to see a bit of you up close and personal. But, obviously, I can tell that there is a group cohesion between you all, as warden groups tend to develop over time. Nothing grows bonds like facing down the threat of death. But even so, it's only natural for individuals to assess others. I'm just curious as to your assessment. Who in Kirin Group do you feel is the strongest?
I think that would depend on the type of strength, because if it's strength in general, then obviously it's me. But if we're talking strength in the mind, I don't know, strength in morale, strength in strategic. What's your point in all this? I think we're all pretty capable in that sense.
That's a good point. Well, then let me be more specific, I suppose. If you would indulge a hypothetical.
Absolutely.
Since it's most fresh on your mind, we'll refer to what we had just accomplished together. If you and the others were to get separated out there, who do you think would fare the best?
Probably. Well, me. But not that. Okay, me. Also my sister. So I think everyone. Honestly, I can't like. I'm really thinking about it. I feel Bishop would do well. Persephone would do well. Francesca's already. She's doing fine, truly, and a little worried about Melody, but you know she's out. She's here. So
you're all
I think
equals
being here.
then?
Yeah, I'm a bit above. So is Persephone.
He smiles.
I don't know if
his
that's
eyes are-
biased.
His smile. He smiles a bit, like, amused by your answer. It's a friendly, charming smile, but the eyes are inquisitive and locked onto yours. So, let's say you're not alone. Let's say... But you're not all together. And you're out there, and in the chaos of battle, Kidding Group gets split up. You feel someone at your back. Friendly. Another member of your group. You turn. You look and you see who it is. In that moment, there's no one that you would rather have at your side? Not one person greater than the other?
No, that. It would be my sister.
That is. I guess that makes perfect sense. So you, your sister, and the others, is this where you feel like you belong? Is this where... Well, let's exclude the others for a moment. I'll just ask Frederica. Is this where you want to be? Given the option, if it were
Are you joking?
entirely up to you. No, not at all.
No, I mean, I'm here because I have to be. And in a sense, yes, a little bit mad.
Have
Maybe
to
I do
and
want to be here,
want to.
but it's
There's a difference between a sense of duty and a sense of desire. I'm strictly asking if you want to be here.
if it's something that can help push back and give us more hope, then yeah, of course. That is why we're here. That's why I'm here. I'm using my abilities to the best of them, and I know I can make a difference here, but not as father. I have reasons to be here, and I intend to.
Speak of fodder from you all. What interpretation of the wardens?
Well, think
do
of it
you
this
have?
way. Look at how many bodies there are out there. How many people have gone missing, probably. How many have died without a name to it. Except for those around them that are also probably dead.
They all had
It's hard to.
names, and not a single one was fodder.
Good. And I know the wardens are the right place.
If I might be
I have my.
blunt,
Go ahead.
I've already spoken with everyone else in the Kieran group. You are the last. And though I got a variance of answers from all of you, one thing seemed to ring true, or at least one thing in common. I don't know if this will affect your outlook on the wardens, or of me personally, or both or neither, but I don't want to be here. And I don't feel like any sane person would.
That's why I said we have to be here. In a sense, right? You talk about want, but the Bloodlands exists. You're right. If it wasn't here, then nobody wants to be here. But we can be here. And in that sense, we want it. Don't misconstrue what they say or what I say.
Let's try to be clear about the difference between duty and desire. But I understand your point, and everybody does seem to have a strong sense of duty. Well,
Why did
what?
was your reason? Or do you remember the first time entering the Bloodlands? Would you compare yourself now?
Well, I am a bit of a unique case. My sister and I were adventurers long before the Wardens, long before the Rifts started, who had seen our fair share of dangers and trouble, even a few fiends. So while surprising, it did not have the effect that it had on others, such as, I suppose, the benefit of the elvish lifespan. But, I mean, in a way, I've grown with the Bloodlands. I was here when it was discovered, when it started, and I've seen it become the festering wound, disease that it continues to be today. So, maybe I've come accustomed to it, or maybe it's taken hold of a bit of who I was, who I am. Who's to say? All I know is I don't want to be here, and that's why I am here. It's a bit of an oxymoron. The sooner that this is dealt with, the sooner I can leave. Anyways, I'm about to round up all of you and take you back, so maybe have another half hour or so. I just need to tidy up a bit of things here. Get some food, stomach some water if you can.
So for you, was it your sister that you had by your side? Since you guys kind of, longevity of life and stuff. In terms of need of survival, I guess. Would you trust anyone more?
Oh. No, absolutely not. And we have an amazing cast around us in Zeta Group. Some of the best. But if I were to ask myself the question that I asked you, I would have an answer. Anyways, I've taken up far too much of your time. If you wouldn't mind gathering everyone up and meeting me over by that tent over there in about 15 minutes or so.
Okay, yeah, that should probably be easy. Sorry, I don't mean to hold you, but does Omega does Omega mean anything to you?
Absolutely. One of the founding groups. One of the first when the Wardens first came about. My sister headed up one, and many other were flocked to by others. In fact, we weren't even together in the beginning, but it was the discovery, I suppose, creation of the first Rift Key that really brought us together as one, as the Wardens. So, it was those that started the Wardens in a way. The first few groups. Not really groups in your sense, you can think of them more as battalions or legions. Hundreds of the most elite Wardens.
I don't suppose you know all their names?
Not every single one, unfortunately. I am acquainted with multiple members of the differing groups, but they have each grown in their own ways under the leadership of their own, well, leaders. My sister being one of them.
Bye.
Notes. You have it, because you've also seen, this isn't your first introduction to Soonlar. He was there outside of Silver Lake, and it was
Yeah,
him and
I
his
just
sister.
don't remember.
It's all right. Somebody has notes, and I'm
Raisana?
pretty sure I'm one. Risana? That sounds right, yes.
Raisana.
Yeah. That's it.
Raisana. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Risana. Yep.
Mm.
She was the one that headed up the basically the cleanup of Silver Lake, the evacuation of any survivors in it, and raising of Silver Lake. And as you guys were all there for about, I think it was a month or after it, to basically hold up the defense and oversee and help people and all of that stuff, it was her group that was overseeing all of that.
Oh yeah, and I didn't ask her anything crazy. Interesting. I remember that. Okay, well, just gonna remember and nod her head and walk away.
All right. So.
Oh, I'll yell for everyone to grab their attention. Thank you.
All right. So has everyone done their short rest stuff? Rolled all the hit dice they want to? Used short rest abilities or lack thereof?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Frederica comes by and starts to round you all up.
Oh, before it's too late, sorry, I'd like to use Song of Rest, I don't know if we have anybody that's wounded or that could use more healing.
Ah.
I forgot what it was. I'm like, was it Kidnap or Song of Rest? But it's the Song of Rest that's one use, I think,
It
for
looks
long
like
rest.
Persephone.
So it's what?
I'm actually full. My button
You're
thingy
full?
isn't
Oh,
working.
okay.
I don't know.
Okay,
I
I
used
got
2
you.
hit dice.
Wow.
I guess I'll use a hit dice just to top myself off.
Okay. So Song of Rest gives a bonus per hit dice rolled, I think. I believe
And it
that's how it
doesn't
works.
discriminate.
Yeah.
That's what we
And
like
it doesn't
to
discriminate.
hear.
Music is universal.
Nice. I will add that to my health. I think that almost topped me up now.
Let's see. So what is? Let me just look up Song of Rest.
I did look it up. It
Yeah, I don't
doesn't
think
say
I'd use
anything. It just
normality
says heal.
too.
It just assists your allies. It doesn't say anything about whom or what.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
an
allies.
extra 1d6, 1d8 actually, at 9th
Oh,
level.
cause she's higher level now. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she don't even know.
So are you topped off? You said, Francesca. Are you at? Is this accurate? This
I
94.
just had to re-roll because you said it was actually 48. I am topped off.
1d8. 1d8.
I know, but I used 4
Oh.
things, and it says per hit dice you use. I'm pretty sure. If it doesn't, then I'm not topped off.
It
But I
doesn't.
glanced at it.
It's just
Okay.
a d8. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
never
Not
mind
very
then.
much.
Then I am not topped off. Hold on.
Okay. It's just whatever the d8 says.
But I did roll an 8, so that's pretty good.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll take those
Impressive.
wins. All right, I'm at 102.
102.
I'm feeling good.
Solid. All right. So Frederica rounds you all up.
I mean, you could roll hit dice, couldn't you? If you wanted.
I
to.
could, but I don't really feel like I need to. We're going back, so I'm already almost at full. I'll save them in case I need them.
All right. So you guys are just heading to meet Soonlar. Nothing else before that.
Yeah, I'm just listening to
So?
Fred because she's the one that called me over here, so I'm looking at her.
Oh.
I was muted. Anyways.
No.
Not this
I forgot to talk.
I just forgot to talk.
Well, Soonlar wanted us to gather at the tent, so we're doing that. That's all I know. I didn't think to ask more, okay?
All right. So as you get back to the rest of you, does seem like he is about to bring you guys back. Say, for your first time even seeing the Bloodlands, to do what you did is no small feat, and I don't think that you should see it as such. This is not an easy place to be. This is not an easy burden to bear. But I will tell you that I do appreciate the potential that I see. And some of you are quite interesting. But I don't want to ruin that. I don't think that there's anything worth throwing you into the Bloodlands for just yet. So, I will be bringing you back. You could enjoy some fresh served rest.
Uh,
Cut out there. I didn't really hear what you said.
Anything? Any of it? I was
No,
talking
just
for a while.
just the last part. Just
The
the last.
last bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it
Say
was
that,
something about a well-deserved rest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take you back so you can enjoy some, untainted air and get some well-deserved rest.
Okay.
that sounds nice.
Walking back a ways to a nearby tree, large enough to facilitate his magic. You're aware that there was a point he could have brought you that was closer to the front line. So the fact that he initially teleported further away had to be for a reason, maybe to gauge your reaction, see how you responded to that small town a ways back where all of the wounded and the dead being either treated or taken care of. From his bag, he procures what looks to be an orb, more like a wicker ball, made from sticks that have small leaves, plants growing from them of a variety of fluorescent colors. He holds it like a focus and uses that as he touches it to the tree. On we go. As the portal opens, he walks through, and as the small ember butterflies flit their wings around the circumference of the portal, you all follow, and immediately the air tastes sweet, almost too sweet. The stark difference from being engrossed in the filth and iron-tainted air of the Bloodlands to the just regular outdoor air is immediately noticeable. You find yourselves at the same tree that you had departed from. You can see where your campfire was, your tents that you had set up, sleeping bags, and everything else, as well as the other two campsites for the other two warden groups that had been accompanying you and Sunlar. With seemingly a single-minded mission or objective, he continues walking, doesn't look back to you, and heads towards one of the other groups and rouses them from their sleep. As you guys settle into your camp, you can overhear the words from maybe about 35 feet away as he... So, you want to go to the Bloodlands? And over the next few minutes, you watch as that warden group awakens, gathers their things, and follows Sunlar. And within 10 minutes of you arriving back, him and that second warden group has disappeared. leaving you and one other, who currently seem to be resting. Some have stirred from the arrival and the sounds that are being made, but they don't seem too bothered.
What an impressively efficient method. The rest of the wardens should employ these tactics a bit more. But it's rather late. I suppose we should get some shut-eye.
That would definitely be most wanted right now. Well, I'm gonna go set up my area.
So, as you guys are setting up, getting ready for your long rest, why won't the music bot work? A member of the other remaining group comes up to you, as actually a couple of them do. A man, seemingly human, walks up. He's wearing a long leather coat that drops to about mid-thigh, wearing seeming like traveler's clothes beneath it. Number of tomes and other items that seem occultish or magical-ish in nature strapped to his belt. He's wearing a hood up. He's about maybe 5'6", 5'7", and as he approaches you, he takes the hood down and gives you a small smile. You can see the eyes are a bit sunken in, as if he hasn't been getting enough sleep in recent times. So, he took you to the Bloodlands, and now he's taking the others, so we're probably next. Right, what was it like? Behind him, approaching, also curious, it seems, is a mountain of a man, probably his size exaggerated in contrast to the relatively short human he's standing next to, and standing seemingly a good bit over 7 feet tall. On his left, you can see, carrying in hand, almost like an extension of himself, is a large metal great hammer. On his right is a woman, athletic build, with a rapier on one hip and battle axe on the other. Both of them seemingly curious. The Goliath of a man is a bit more hard to read, stone-faced, but the one who's doing the talking and the woman seem more curious, maybe even a touch of concern in their faces about what might be facing them next.
want to make it sound sweet or anything. It's a tad rough, more than, and it's something that I don't think a description would do justice. It's quite literally hell on earth. So if you can put that to paper, it's not great.
Does it seem hopeless then? I mean, he
Don't
looks over at
scare
all of
them.
you.
Don't scare them too much now, Ezekiel.
Well,
Terrifying, of course it's terrifying. But it's also exhilarating and amazing and incredible, and just there aren't really words to describe what it is. It isn't somewhere that you just wander about, obviously.
Does it
And-
seem like there's a chance for us? Does it seem... Is it hopeless?
I don't feel so. There are, even within the madness, there are wardens. They're fighting back with every tool that they have accessible to them. And there seems to be a sort of structure that's fighting. So
Are they making a difference?
it does
At
seem
all?
so.
Not in just holding back, but in the war itself. This war, we at least know the basic of it. That this blood war fought between devils and demons. Does it even seem like we're impacting it at all?
It's left to be said.
So,
We
right,
were only there for,
All I can say right now is that we're holding the line.
yeah.
And at our best, people are probably working on trying to push the
did you
Bloodlands back.
see anything that might have indicated which side may have been winning?
If you go to the Bloodlands with this mindset, I suppose you will not be returning to us. You should go with a little bit more confidence. It is quite drastic there, yes, but having no hope is what makes it worse.
Does it seem like one of the sides is winning? The Hells, the Abyss.
That is the whole point of your little field trip, is it not? You will go and find out for yourself. If you cannot handle it, then that is for you to decide.
Hold on. You didn't even mention us. What are you talking about? Who are you? I mean, really, who asks that question? That is like you've already given up, haven't you?
That is quite the curious question.
Sorry,
Forgive me.
Francesca.
It's something that's... I mean, we've... As much as you, I can imagine, been involved in this with little understanding, at least very little first-hand understanding of where this all started. We fought demons, we fought devils, and we know the basics of what is going on, but you've actually seen it. You can answer questions, and sure, we will see it eventually, but I'm gnawing. Did it seem like one side had a distinct advantage over the other?
It seemed like chaos. Oh no.
And
Surely your group have closed rifts before, no?
For the change in structure, yes. Quite a few. Maybe.
Then you're capable. You've already done so much to put yourself here, and you have little hope, but yet we've come out of that same, well, not the same rift, but through that portal. We've been to the Bloodlands, like you said. It is the worst thing that you could ever imagine, so you should be steeling yourself. But you also need to have confidence with yourselves individually and as a group, do you guys work well together? I assume so, if you close some rifts, yeah. We can give you the rundown of... And you will continue to do so. Have to steel yourself for the worst. Think of the worst nightmare that you've ever had, and times that by 100.
Well, okay, maybe not. I do agree with the sentiment, though, most certainly. It's not pleasant, but if I were to say one thing, maybe to ease your mind, um, as we were leaving a highly contested area, the area was demolished by the wardens, just hit with giant rocks and airstrikes, and it seemed to most certainly lay waste to anything there. So it's not that it's hopeless, it's that the war is ongoing. To ask for a estimation when we'd only been there for hours is quite unrealistic.
Sure, I was just wondering, I suppose, if anyone shared the same curiosity that we had about it. It seems not, though.
But I certainly understand. This is going there. There was that same feeling. Um, what is it that we're fighting against in the grand scheme of things? I understand, but I also know that you'll all end up fine.
He walks up and sits down in front of you guys' currently cold campfire and reaches out with a tinderbox and basically offers to light it, waits for you guys to either approve or deny.
Go for it, I suppose.
He strikes the flint and steel and lights the campfire, tends to it a bit as makes sure it grows. All we know is, well, I guess what you knew before you had seen it firsthand. That the Bloodlands are growing, expanding, encroaching. Did you see any signs, any indication that we were even close to taking a step forward to reclaiming land law? Or was it just staving off the inevitable?
As far as we saw, there isn't anything right now that they have that they've come up with to regain land. Seems like right now they're just staving off the spread of the Bloodlands, but
How
that
much
doesn't
longer
mean
can they do that for? Until it's too late.
that
If Pax falls.
these aren't
If the
questions you should
country
be
doesn't.
asking.
These are the only questions that should be asked. To ignore them is to be ignorant and foolish.
No, not foolish. What you should be focusing on is what you can do to fight back, to help, so that we can regain land. Focusing on whether we can or cannot is just... that's not what this is about. If you're ready to call it quits and run away,
Not at
that's
all.
what it sounds like.
Not at all. I'm just saying, up until this point, the Wardens have done nothing but hold a line and backpedal, lose ground, slow the advance of the fiends. what they're doing right now, it's not enough. And it seems like what you've seen, what you've said, at least confirms that. You all have returned in much worse state than you left in. I could tell, I could see, I can smell it on you.
Yeah,
There has to be another way. There has to be something else.
perhaps there is, but for now, it seems, my friend, that the only thing we can do is stave off the line, and perhaps those above us are
It is death by a thousand
close.
cuts.
And
Which
And he looks to Bishop. And if you're serious about this, as it seems you are, then certainly you can appreciate approaching a problem from a different angle. If what has been done has been proven time and time again to do nothing but be a delaying tactic, trading lives for minutes, that can't be the best way.
I'm trying to say that we weren't there long enough to know that there isn't another way that's being worked on. I'm just saying this is what we saw.
indeed,
And death by a thousand cuts, I mean that's what it's like to be alive, alright? We go down fighting until the very last breath. We're not gonna give up our land. We're not gonna give up our homes. We're gonna make sure that we keep our country and our families and friends safe. And if that means that we have to just do what we can for right now, then that's what we're gonna do. And in time, we'll find another way to make sure that we gain back ground. It's war. We have to do what we can right now and hope that we find a better way soon.
right. And perhaps you and we could all be that deciding change that is needed.
So, have you got a plan then?
A plan? No, I have not a plan. I have nothing but thoughts, anxieties.
Well,
Okay.
I can't say that going to the Bloodlands is going to do anything for anxiety. Except, amplify it probably. That's being honest, not telling you not to go, but I'm telling you that if, while you're here, before you've even smelled the air or seen the destruction, if right now here you are saying that
I'm not saying I want to give up. I'm saying that I don't want to be part of a losing battle. And that's all I see. That's all I hear. That's all that has been since this all started has been loss after loss. And the only thing that we've accomplished is staving off the next loss or lessening the severity of it. You all are touted as heroes of Silver Lake for burning it. That is the victory that the Wardens claim to. That it has to be a better way, and there has to be a
let
better
me stop you
angle.
there, friend. You've not given me your name. That's fine. Okay. Anyway, would you prefer that we also lost all of the cities along there, like Glimmerdale and, all the way down?
No, of
Pomona as
course
well.
not.
Then
But that is
what?
what I am saying.
It was the only way to
That
stop the spread.
I am
Everything
not.
was lost. It was
I
all
am
infected.
not saying you did
We didn't
anything
save it. We
wrong.
saved
I'm not
every
saying you
other
did
town.
anything less than the best that you could do. What I am saying is that result being the most positive result is not a good thing.
Which is why we need you. We need every
Not
bit of help that
sitting
we
here
can.
telling you I am ready to give up this fight. I am sitting here trying to gather information, trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together and figure out a way forward that does not involve accepting a lesser loss as the best outcome.
You know, that's just what we are all doing, if I'm being honest, or at least what I've been doing since I went. Trying to figure out a way that maybe we could do something a little different, maybe just some advantage.
We don't really know much. We know how to close rifts, certain rifts, and now we know that there are super rifts, right? But what else is there? There's us fighting the fiends and us fighting the devils or demons, whatever the hell you want to call them. They're all the same to me.
He
Don't have enough information. Sorry.
No, he's just looking to you as you talk. Do you all feel the same way, then? That it's just a headlong battle, us versus the fiends, and it must be fought out, and there's no other possible approach to this.
We are Kieran Group. We've saved a Kieran who is fighting on our behalf. You do know what a Kieran is, don't you?
I am vaguely familiar, yes. I cannot say I've met one myself.
Yes, well, we aided one who was fighting to close rifts. So there are others from other places that are also fighting for our home.
And for the cease of the madness that infects most planes, apparently.
You know, is it unified with us? No, but it is something that made me feel hopeful, personally. You know, that there are other beings out there that are not approving of this invasion.
He contemplates for a moment, as if debating with himself whether or not to speak. You can see the sunken eyes darting between each of you, almost as gauging your faces, not sure whether to say his next words.
But in truth, I believe that not only is it us who are fighting against the fiends and the Bloodlands, but it is the heavens will be involved, hopefully much sooner than later, obviously. And I have a weird sense that
What are they waiting for?
who knows? I have no idea how the heavens decide on things or what
I'm
actions they take. I think the best thing for anxieties and fears is to not let them eat you whole. And friend, it looks like you haven't slept in days. I
You know,
wouldn't want you to go into the Bloodlands in such a state. It's damaging enough.
fair point, but to be entirely honest, none of you really have given this man anything. False hopes, honeyed words. He has a
Man,
point.
he does. Absolutely, and that's why I don't think any of us are particularly able to soothe his worries because, in a way, some of them are our own. But
I mean, did we
I
not
disagree.
witness? Did we not witness the victory that we shared? Are we going to not constitute that as a victory because it was a minor one? We're not going to think of the practical miracle that Sunlar performed in front of our very eyes. Is that not an idea, a mote of inspiration? Sure,
It is.
the overall wardens maybe aren't making an impact, but why look towards the wardens? Why not look inward? If Sunlar has the power to do what he did, to stand in front of that creature, Balor, and metaphorically laugh in its face, raining down and causing the destruction, and I don't think anything survived that. A single individual, for the most part, can perform such a feat like that. Isn't that hope enough?
I believe so. And that is exactly the point I've been trying to get across. I don't think it's
Were we all
hopeless.
Sunlar, then certainly there would be more of a chance. And
Okay.
I'm
Why
not
can't you
saying
be?
that
Yes, but we helped him.
time.
You know, he couldn't have done it without us holding back the hold while he did. You know, it isn't about being Sunla, it's about being you, the best you that you can be, like a suggestion said.
It's about us being together and fighting alongside one another and not just giving. Not saying you are. I know you've made it clear that that's not your intention. But even faltering and asking
You're
questions
saying
is
that the
healthy.
demon,
But
that the fiends. Are you saying that the demons, the fiends, are going to be defeated on the backs of courage and self-confidence?
No,
as they
that's
have,
not
don't-
what I'm implying.
I don't think
I
you're
would imagine.
understanding. Sorry, suggestion.
I would imagine an opportunity will present itself, and only the more cunning to see it will probably take it as an opportunity. And that would be the moment, probably, that you're looking for. The different approach.
the shifting tide.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you'd be wise to do whatever you can to be better. Because, like I said, it's about being alive and doing everything we can, even if it looks hopeless now. Fight. If we can't fight anymore, try to get stronger. Turn the tide. Wait for that moment.
And even if we
How
all
long
aren't
do we
Soonlar,
have to get stronger? Do we have the time? How long did it take Sumlar to get where he is? How long did it take the others who head up the Wardens to get to where they are? Certainly much longer than the rifts have been open. Certainly much longer than we have until they've progressed as much further as they have already. By the time we've gotten strong enough, if we can even make it that far, what will be left? Surely you see that time is as much the enemy as any demon, as any fiend.
Look, it's not our job to make you feel better. We're just telling
I'm
you
not
what it is.
asking for you to make me feel better. I was
Sure
asking
sounds
for
like it.
information. Then you are not the one I need to be speaking with.
We told you what it is. I mean, I don't know what else you need to know. We don't have the answers.
You speak as one voice, each of you.
We're not here to
I
offer
simply
you
have
honeyed
nothing to
words.
say to this Bearfield fool.
Yeah.
and I will walk away.
Hmm.
Probably the smartest move here. I'm gonna walk away as well.
You know, the line has, countless trebuchets along it, and they're constantly bombarding the other side of the trench. Because that's what the Asmodeus line is. It is a enormous trench that is ever filling with fiends. It is coordinated. They do. They are planning things. And beyond that, they do have those who have been gifted the power of, well, like Ezekiel here. He's able to wield his god's power to an extent, and that's how they cleanse the line.
Were that enough, it wouldn't be pushed back.
Oh no, because giant rifts form. They're called nexuses. And the rifts, what they do is they devour the smaller rifts around them, and that's what we closed, was one that was about to become a nexus. It wasn't an easy victory, but it was a victory. We did close it. We stopped it from happening. And you could too. I mean, I don't really know of your capabilities, so I can't say for sure. And I can't say, me personally, I did it all on my own, because obviously I didn't. I couldn't. But neither could Sunlal. He had the aid of others as well. It's when we work together.
I can only assume that anyone here is here for similar reasons, or at least has one thing in common, and that is to put an end to this. I know that's
Absolutely.
my concern. I know that is all of Chimera's concern.
We want it to stop.
While
We
we are
don't want to go
wardens,
to the Bloodlands, but we are needed. We are called.
He looks around to the rest of those who are there, who I'm gonna assume everybody except for Bishop and Frank. Unless somebody else wants to exit or go to sleep. Melody's taking a cat nap.
You're not entirely wrong in the sense that maybe there is something that we can do, but at this time, we don't know what that is. So all we could do is, well, you ask how you can train or become stronger, and really messed up as it sounds, there's no experience like the experience in the Bloodlands. And if you've made it this far, then it can be jarring. But we have to do more than hope. So be strategic with your team. Check in on each other whenever you get the chance, because the moment you enter the Bloodlands, it will affect you if you let it. You should be confident in your ability if you're this far. So be objective. You're there for a reason. We're not there to just aimlessly fight. No, we don't have a whole plan, or at the very least, we may not know about it, but we know how to close the rifts. We now know we have the ability as a team to potentially close bigger ones. So it is progress. And
yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, need you. And
not everyone can be Soonlar, but we can all be an aid to someone like Soonlar. It's not a one-person task. It's all of us together. And
Feel like getting it. Soonlar, those like Soonlar, have had people like you this whole time. For well over a year. And it's only gotten worse. You can have your faith, however justified you feel, however blind it is. Me, maybe you, I guess I seem to have upset a few of you, but if I'll leave you be after the question, then, because if you answer it in this, well, are you wardens because you want to end this war? Or do you want to end this war because you're wardens? What matters more to you? Ending this or being wardens? Because honestly, I haven't heard much from you other than do your best and trust the process.
Well, if I were to answer, I want to I want to be a warden to end the war. It doesn't, though I do respect and I do value everything that the wardens does, and that's why I find myself in such a place. I feel that no matter what group, no matter what order would be trying to fight this war, I would be alongside trying to halt and end it as soon as possible. It's not about the wardens, it's about this being done. It's about those who are dying and those villages that are consumed being freed once more for me. I I value ending the
Those are
war
more than
overall.
ideals. It's pretty words, as your friend here has said, looking to suggestion.
Absolutely, and it
It
is a
does not
comfort.
feel as if you've given much more thought than go where you're told, do what you're told because it's the right thing to do, and that eventually it will work. Eventually it will lead to the end. Have any of you given this independent thought outside of your role as a warden, outside of your missions, outside of our duty?
Melody's gonna step in front of Ezekiel, and say, I get that you're scared and all, but I I left my home and I defied my family to become a warden. That's all I wanted to do, is just to become a warden, write my own story, and just be one of them. And but the more I traveled along with my other fellow wardens, I started to realize that this fight is not just about, because we're a warden we have to end this fight, but we have to end the fight because we just don't want to see any more suffering, warden or not. I want this to stop. I want it all to end, and I'm scared, okay? I am so terrified I won't ever go see my family again, but if I know that I was here and I contributed to helping and stopping this and everyone else does as well, then I don't care if I'm a warden or not. I just want it to stop. That may not answer your question at all, but I just want to let you know that we're not so different. We're all scared. We all think there's no hope on the other side, but as someone who is terrified at this very moment, I think we just need each other. And we can do this together. But there's no time to run back. There's no time to ask these questions right now. It's just a matter of just sticking with each other and just fight, not give up.
Think. just hope that doing the same thing will work eventually. Just hope that someone else, someone stronger, someone smarter will come up with something, and until then,
You hold
do
the
what
line.
you're told. Very
Hold
well.
the
Not
line.
wrong.
Then I don't feel like any words I have will fall on the correct ears. Yeah, I'm sorry to have wasted your time.
I'm not waiting for someone else to come up with a solution. I'm working on a solution, and I'm not. I don't know. I don't think it's hopeless. It can't be hopeless. If it was, would be over already. Nothing that we're doing would stop it if it was hopeless.
You feel like we've stopped it.
No, we haven't totally stopped it, but it's not. The material plane would not be here any longer. It would just be overrun completely. Don't you think?
I know that time is something that exists,
Oh yes, time is very limited. We've only got.
and that
We are
even if
finite.
demons and devils started pouring in, it would certainly take time for them to overrun the plane. But how long are we talking? What does it matter in the grand scheme of things whether they could accomplish?
You know,
Whether it would take 200 years, the end result is the same. If they have not been stopped, all the same.
you're right. You know, it is very much to our benefit that they're fighting each other and that they chose to invade at the same time. You know, because that's slowing them down considerably. If either were totally organized and just launching an attack that wasn't attacking themselves or each other, you know, it would be very different.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I don't feel that it's hopeless. I am working on a way to help us. I've been examining how they do what they do. How they harness the types of powers that they harness. You know, it's not easy. It's not known. And you're right, we don't have time.
He watches you for a while, Persephone.
You know, so with whatever time I do have, I'm going to use it. I'm going to try to find a way to make it better, to find a way to actually beat them back, not just hold the line, although it is important to hold that line as well as we can in the meantime.
Of course, it is. I am not downplaying the importance of that, not by
No,
no means. But there must be another. All I'm saying is what you said, that there must be another approach, another way other than doing the same thing day in, day out, because the same thing has not worked.
You're right, it's insanity to just keep doing the same thing and expecting it to be different somehow.
And all I've heard from most of you, including the ones that walked away, were hopes and ideals that certainly are shared amongst any sane person. But saying, we want to do this because it's the right thing, we will do this because we have to, that as long as we work together, it'll all end up well in the end, all hollow and naive words. I wanted to come over and ask because I, like you, have been thinking about this separate from my place in the warden, separate from our missions that we've been assigned.
While we're there,
Because there has to be another way.
you will probably meet him as well. But you know Scorpion Group, yes, they went ahead of us.
I remember them from when we were called before the legatus.
There's only one of them left. And he is utterly
And
broken.
for what reason?
I don't know the specifics because couldn't speak with him. He's not there, really. Not really. I mean, he's there, but not, you know, up here. And she kind of taps her forehead a little.
What do you think How much time did that afford us? Did those lives save us? Minutes? Maybe hours?
Well, that's just it. The Bloodlands
Maybe
isn't a
nothing.
land of any other time. It's seconds. Every moment counts.
What we can do in the meantime is share information. The more we learn about them, how to close rifts, how to close the even bigger rifts. You're right, we have to know more than that. More than just battle, more than just the day, one day out of the next. But I don't know what that is quite yet. None of us do. Whatever information you learn is going to be different than from what we learn. Our perspectives are going to matter. So if
That
you,
I'm certain of.
I mean, I don't have any ideas, but if you have any to share, or you're still planning to go in, try to learn something. I can tell you that your senses are going to betray you. I can tell you that every breath that you take is going to be filled with iron blood. That doesn't help, does it? So, what is it that you?
Everything,
I don't know what
every
we could
little
do.
bit is certainly important. Every little bit of information, every new thing that I learn is important. I'm just not convinced that victory lies in doing the same thing, in simply getting stronger arbitrarily and trusting in each other is going to carry the day. Nor do I believe that some force from somewhere else is going to come in and save us. Whether it be celestial or otherwise. I am trying to put together the pieces that are on the table right now, and the way that things are going, it does not seem like there's a route forward. At least,
So then, do you know? I don't know from the beginning when it started, where it started. We know how it started or why, but if it's more questions that we should be asking to answer, then that's where we start.
I've heard, well, we've all seen rifts, and I've felt the effects of them on myself. I've seen the effects of them on others. I can only assume that being engulfed in that worse. How do you not go mad? How have you held on to silence? It's just you weren't there for long?
Well, I've got her, and I gesture towards Fred, kind of, punch her shoulder very lightly, because that's what I'm capable of. But, she's important, and I have to. She's my sister, so there isn't anything above that. And when you've got
You mentioned
something
that you had
solid to stand on,
studied these fiends. For what? A way to find their weakness? A way to weaponize them?
weakness, weaponize them, anything, everything that I can figure out.
Is that not dirtying your hands? I mean, you're to utilize the same means or methods to taint your hands with their evil. Is that not evil?
I think that power is just power. It's all on how you use it.
He looks to everybody else and tries to see if you guys generally are agreeing or disagreeing with Persephone's statement.
I don't think it's evil. At least what we do. I mean, all a matter of reasoning. I things will be objective. Maybe a part of it is naive, but I don't care. I know what I want to protect. I kind of like.
More or less.
Power is power. And power, as you have stated before, is something that we need, certainly. Something that we can get through growth and training, but I don't feel like we have the time for that. So it seems like you're trying to find a way to get power quicker.
Absolutely.
Which I believe should be something that we all intend.
It's
I,
like
for one,
dirtying your hands is the least of my concerns if it stops all this, you know? Like, sure, whatever, up to my knees, over my head even. Don't care.
Well, to an extent, right? I think as long as
No.
well, there has to be a balance to everything, is what I mean.
Oh, that's you. You're the balance.
There has to be a balance because
There
crazy
has to
like
be a
that.
balance.
well, to an extent.
no,
right?
but like you don't want to go mad with like power or
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, Fred.
You don't want to. Yeah, that's a.
Well, if it meant ending all of this,
But you should
well, most
never
us
at the cost
wouldn't
of
lay
losing
down our
yourself.
lives.
Right,
Is
or
that not a fair trade? Is that not an exchange you wouldn't give up yourself to end this right now, if
I
given the
would.
option to?
Absolutely.
I would. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, that's
It,
you caught me.
I
it's
don't
more
know.
in the realm of try to keep the atrocities to a minimum. I guess that's how I
Well,
look at
I
it.
would just sacrifice myself for Persephone, so that alone is enough. But that doesn't stop all of this realistically. So that's not.
No.
There's no real balance to that if you're putting yourself into the extreme. So I'm just theoretically. It does. Anyways, don't listen to me.
Well,
He looks back to the other two, silently asking each of them a question. The woman behind him with her arms folded doesn't respond. The towering Goliath of a man gives a subtle shake of his head in the negative. Alright, well, you all look a bit tired. Don't want to take up too much of your evening. Should get some rest before sunup.
as should you. But I feel this was a meaningful conversation. It does put some things into perspective.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you could give more than your life, say, your soul, for power, would you? Because if you were to
Would it-
give your life, you would move on, no? To wherever you would go.
Would it lead to ending this? if it led
Oh.
towards ending this, towards an actual positive step. Mm. I must say, I probably do not understand the weight or gravity or implication behind losing one's soul. I can only
You don't
really
need to.
equate it to one's life,
A moment.
but I can't say that. I can't say that I wouldn't, without greater understanding of the weight of it. I can only think in terms of my life. That's all I know.
It would likely give you a conceivable advantage over your opponents. You very well could have the power to end or push things back.
That's very much the same as what she was saying earlier. He nods to Persephone, is it not?
Now, what if you didn't particularly need to meet the other end of that bargain?
You mean the power without the cost? That it seems
Absolutely.
it would be foolish to turn that away. Why would anyone say no? Unless there's a catch of some sort, but it seems, I mean, stronger for no. Who would say no to that?
I think precisely that. With a bit of effort on your part, say you could overcome the need to pay back the end of your deal.
Is this a hypothetical? Is this a conversation that you're comfortable having here in the open? Or is this just, are we speaking simply hypothetically?
Of course, I wouldn't have any understanding of any of this. I just know that deals usually have something where you two are making some sort of agreement, and usually one gets more than the other, but there are loopholes. If you're clever.
Can you make an insight check suggestion?
He's
24.
insightful as fuck.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck, dude? 24?
He's hard to read. Hard to read. You know,
No fucking
he seems, interested in what you're talking about. You are talking curious manner, right? Kind of dangling this carrot in front of him, and he does seem like curious, absolutely, because who wouldn't be of your cryptic words and manner of speaking?
I'm just saying there's a clear possibility that what you said before is not without reason. A means to ending this conflict without constantly just being at a stalemate for years and these unsurmountable foes.
Well, it seems like we're talking very much of similar things. At least, I would think, if not methods, then at least the results are the same. He stands up and gives a glance over his shoulder to the two other chimera. It's sorry, I sat a bit too close to the campfire here. It's a bit warm. He takes a step back, tugs at his collar a bit. You can see him sweating a little. I would like to continue this conversation, but need to take a step back, fill my lungs with some cooler air.
Fair enough.
Hmm. If you're not particularly embroiled, would like to pick your brain a bit more about this hypothetical.
I'll get up and I'll dust myself off.
Mm.
Sure.
The other two that were standing behind him, they kind of move into the campfire. One of the woman goes into her pouch, brings out some dried, salted, like meat, and sense. You all look quite famished. Something before bed? She asks, extending the jerky-like meat towards you all.
Oh,
As the Goliath man he sits down in front of the fire stairs.
if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely not. And she walks in front of you, Ezekiel, and gives you a strip of the meat and kind of goes down the line, offering it to me.
Thank you. That's most generous of you. Kind of, sort of, might have entirely forgot about, eating or drinking anything.
Drinking.
Not a problem.
Wait. I'm going to open my water flask. Does the water still taste weird? I'm gonna try and drink it.
It's faint, right? It's getting back to normal. It hasn't completely. Still kind of a little bit of it there, a whisper of it.
Good enough for me. I guzzle the water. I, I eat my jerky and I drink water and I am happy.
Okay. As that happens, and she sits down, and you'll have to forgive. You'll have to forgive Nilo. He's not the best when it comes to speaking with others, but he's passionate. You watch as apparently Nilo and Suggestion get a bit further away, and the area in front of you is mostly clear of trees, so it's once they get out of range of like the light cast by the campfire, you can see their shadowed silhouettes as they walk and enjoy the fresh air.
Well, though we went in some circles, I don't think he was particularly wrong. And most things he said. Of course, I have some differences in opinion. I'm like in between bites, but it's not. It's not a matter of right and wrong. It's more a matter of perspective. And this isn't something. This war isn't something that will be solved with us bashing our heads on the front lines. But I also
I
don't
think
think
that's exactly where he's coming from, especially the bit about, what you said about perspective.
Right.
Please excuse me a moment. I'm going to, Persephone's going to stand up and stretch. Like, I'm going to walk a bit too.
Okay.
You get a bit of a ways away, Suggestion, and Nilo, though you don't know his name, gets out of the way, glances back towards the campfire. You can see the others kind of sitting down, eating a bit and enjoying a conversation, it seems, but He stands there with a contemplative look on his face. And as you two stand there, he just kind of stands there silently.
I hope I was perhaps able to clear your mind for a moment.
He looks to you as if trying to see, through the mask, literally or figuratively. But he still doesn't speak. His eyes catch a hint of movement as Persephone approaches. Ah, good. I was hoping you would join us. I hope that my words, well, they certainly seem to rub a few of your friends the wrong way, but from what I gathered, you two are the ones who seem to see things clearly. At least ones who understand that the way things are going now, there is no path to victory that does not include compromise. Whether that be with ourselves or others. I have a speak.
No, I agree completely.
I mean, isn't that how most conflict comes to an end? Some sort of compromise on both sides.
Certainly, but it's when you think about the sides that are embroiled in here, would you seriously consider compromise with them? You know what that means,
Well,
I think.
if you
Do you know what that means?
mean to compromise with the absolute chaos and carnage that is, from the abyss, I'm not sure that there's much to compromise with that.
I noticed you only mentioned half of our foe.
Oh, yes, they're distinctly different. I mean, have you not noticed?
I've noticed. As I said, I've been thinking about this since before becoming a warden. It's part of why I became a warden, to try to learn more. I am pieces to the puzzle, and as much as any one of your friends, my friends, the wardens, even the most devout holy man or woman claims to hate the fiends, whether it be demons or devils. Nothing despises a demon more than a devil. Nothing wishes to tear apart a devil more than a demon. And I feel like ignoring that, putting them into the same category, is a losing recipe.
We think alike then.
They are not at all the same. Not even a tiny bit. I mean, except that maybe they... No, I don't even know if you could say just because of where they, location-wise to one another originate. Like, that's a very weak argument, I would say. I mean, are they You know, killing us all the same, yes, but, differently. And also, I would question, what the motivation of one versus the other is.
This war between them is much bigger than what we're seeing here. What is threatening to overrun our entire existence, our world, is not much more than a skirmish in their feud.
Which is unfortunate because, we're rather finite. We're
Absolutely.
mortal. We have what we have in terms of time.
They're fighting this to gain, well, at least one side, the rational side, is fighting this to gain even the smallest minutia of an advantage over the other. I don't think that there's any thought, any reason, any motivation beyond just the drive for destruction. As you said, there is clearly a difference between these evils. It looks to suggestion. You mentioned these dealings, a way to acquire power. I think you were not speaking hypothetically. I might be wrong.
Well, we know common knowledge, devils make deals. But that doesn't mean that they don't have to
And have
win
you-
every deal.
And have you? He trails off, letting the question fill itself in.
Can't say just yet. I mean that earnestly. Not because I can't, but perhaps because I don't have the results. Theoretically, should be possible. I will let you know once I can give you a direct answer.
Seeing as suggestion was the one who even brought up this whole nature deals and has been talking sort of cryptically and hypothetically about that. His focus when it comes to this is on suggestion. Where, unbeknownst to the two of you, the one who probably has the most experience and knowledge of that, or at least the most stakes involved, is neither of you. What if you were granted the opportunity? You asked me if I would take it. You then would do the same?
For the potential of power to simply push back against this war, I think you'd have to be mad not to. But that doesn't mean that once you've accepted the power, that's it. It's all over.
You're either dangerously confident, dangerously cunning, or dangerously misinformed. I cannot tell which.
We could say for now a combination of all of the above based off with what you know.
He looks to Persephone, not so much to like look for an answer, but more to gauge her reaction. What's Persephone doing?
Persephone is, listening intently. Might have perhaps, started to smile a bit, just slightly at what Suggestion was saying, about how maybe you don't have to fulfill your end of the bargain, but Persephone does fully intend to fulfill her bargain. She wants to kill her demon, devil, whatever. Devil, obviously devil. Because demons don't make deals. No deals there.
So let's leave hypotheticals aside for now. Are you prepared to negotiate?
Well, we would need leverage for things to go in our favor.
How do you mean?
What if, after all, we are relatively insignificant in this war? I mean, like you mentioned, this is just a skirmish. What if we were able to go to the most reasonable side? I say that lightly. And give them something that they might be interested in, something that would give them an edge, or proof of such a deed. Proof that something like that is possible.
I know not much of what these devils think, what they scheme, what their plans or goals are. But from my knowledge, there's very few that are not keen on tempting mortals to make deals.
Which makes it even easier.
Yes.
Well,
So I think that regardless of, what you come with, I don't think that this level of preparation that you feel you need is necessarily, necessary. They'll find something they want.
The advantage we could offer is very simple. It's we stop killing them. They stop flooding the plain only enough, come only with enough to beat back the demons. And then, we come to some sort of agreement that they also, for probably a price, much like the ones you guys have mentioned here, will, for the most part, leave us in peace.
So, and if we could find one that would give us the most favorable deal that aligned as much with our cause as possible, we would be open to negotiation.
Of course, I mean, after all, we all are looking to end the war.
He looks down at the ground and kind of strokes his chin. He grips the bridge of his nose for a second before his arm falls to his side, and he stands still for a fraction of a second before looking back up at you with a smile and a different glint in his eyes. before speaking with a feminine voice. Well, then let's talk. And I think that's where I'm going to end it for the night.
No way.
Damn.
You've got to be kidding me. What?
Damn.
Bueno.
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 I loved Bishop's just no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Just no.
I imagine he put his finger out too. Just like
No.
pointed it at him. No.
Yeah, Bishop hates that guy.
Bishop hates that guy.
Bishop hates that guy. You're too much of a free thinker there, brother. What are you, a commie?
Fucking
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Also, you guys talking in chat about this? Also, yeah, I have him. He's right here. He's been here the whole time.
Oh.
Oh, hi.
I hate that guy.
He has a name now.
He does? Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Something with an N.
Nilo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll remember that for sure.
Bootleg Hispanic chocolate powder for milk.
I have no idea what that is. Total coincidence. His new name is Nesquik.
Hell yeah, brother.
Better.
Even better. He's gonna be real quick to get a fucking pack.
Nesquik. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Good night.
Tune in next time
night.
to see what
Good night.
suggestion comes